Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today is the first video of I think maybe 4 or 5 episodes of the first trip of the year. This was my trip that I went on back in Easter when I went up to Ulster, went up to Down and Antrim. So it was a very enjoyable trip. I have about 4 or 5 episodes. So this is the first episode. This is driving from, obviously, where I live in Cork, in Carrickline, to up to around Belfast, where we were staying. So Belfast was just kind of our base of operations, and then we went around to other parts. We went up to mostly Antrim. So we actually, the place, it's funny enough, the place we were staying in was actually technically in Down, because not many people would know this, but all of southern Belfast is in Down and all of northern Belfast is in Antrim. But most people just think all of Belfast is in Antrim. But where we were staying was actually in Down. It was in a place called, I think, Strandtown or something it was called. New experience for us. And we were staying there, but most of the stuff we were doing, pretty much all the stuff we were doing was in Antrim. But anyway, they're for future episodes. So These are just the clips I took on the road. This is going to be a short enough one because I've kind of taken the clips on the road a good few times already, and I'm not going to... stuff that I've already recorded before, I wasn't bothered just recording that again because you've seen it a million times. It's not that interesting. So I only really start filming properly around kind of when we get into like Kildare, because that's new. All the other places only have maybe like one clip, because I've already done Limerick and Tip and Cork and Kilkenny and a million times, so I just said I'd leave them off, like, just I wouldn't record too much there. But anyway, it's enough rabbiting on, and we'll just get straight into the video. So I hope you guys enjoy. So here's the first clip now. This is in just still in Cork. This is kind of on the way to Fermoy and Mitchelstown, then into Limerick, and then here into Tipperary. There it is. So as I said before, I've already recorded this a million times. There's the Galtee Mountains from my Galtee video, which was, I think, the most recent video. So, yeah, as I said, seen that a million times, so nothing special there. And also, this part of the motorway isn't that, like, I suppose, exciting, because all you can really see is trees, and so it's not particularly exciting. Here's just these are some nice fields. This is kind of up around, I think, Thurles, kind of that direction. I can't exactly remember where some of these things were recorded, because I didn't have location services on at the time. But this is kind of, I suppose, kind of mid-Tipperary. Since Tipperary is like a major part of the motorway, you spend a lot of time in there. It's because it's such a massive county. It's very long rather than wide. It's a long one. So, and since the motorway goes up vertically, you're going to spend a lot of time there. These were, I think, I'm not sure. I think this might have had something to do with horse breeding. I think this is kind of around Coolmore Stud. And then this was just kind of a forested section, which I can't remember where that was exactly as well, but this was just kind of an area for forestry. And I think there was some sort of sawmill there as well. Or it might have been like an industrial estate, or I couldn't really tell what it was. This clip might have gone on a bit too long. I think this, this is, or no, not yet. I thought that was Kilkenny, but not yet. Yeah, still some nice. This was a pretty. At the beginning of the day, it was quite wet and quite damp, but it gets better. The sun comes out and it dries up a small bit, so the clips might get a bit better then. But this was early enough in the morning. This was around, I think, we hit the road at about 6 o'clock in the morning because it was such a long drive, 5 hours. I think from where we were, 5 hours exactly to get up there. Here it is now, Kilkenny. This is Urlingford. You probably all know. And there was some sort of I can't tell, it might be a monastery or it might be like an old factory. But there was a big kind of high-rise kind of chimney-looking thing. It was old, obviously, but I couldn't tell if it was a factory or monastery. So this is, the views start getting a little better now. This is there was a slurry going on down there. This is I suppose you call this the Kilkenny Panhandle, because it's the little portion of Kilkenny jutting into Laois and Tipperary. It's very flat around here as well. And then this was up into Laois now, I think. Yeah. So no, this is when I started recording a bit more, because I haven't really shown this properly in my videos yet. So I've already, this was in my Roscommon video, this area, so this is actually funny. This is what it's like in April versus what it was like, I think, in August at that time, so it was wetter. They had sheep out in that field this time of the year, and they only had bales out during the summer, which was kind of unique. Same place, which is cool enough. Then I think this was crossing into Kildare, which I did a separate video on. I have a few of the clips from my channel, which were just these are the interesting ones. Here are the interesting crossings. I put them in, the ones I hadn't done pretty much. So I put them up into separate videos. So this is around Monasterevin into Kildare now. Yeah. Then the usual stopped off at Junction 14. I'm guessing everyone who's been on the motorway in Ireland has stopped off here at least once. It's a great spot, great food. This is a unique thing that I saw. So this was a biogas plant, which I thought I've never actually seen one in real life. I've seen them in obviously FS22 and FS25, but I've never actually seen them in real life. I know they're more popular in like Germany and England and France and Spain and stuff, but I've never seen one in Ireland. Then here were just a few. This is kind of, I think, around the Curragh now, so big horse racing country now. There was a little golf buggy shop there. That was the Curragh there, I think, or might have been, I'm not sure. But obviously all the horse racing. Kildare, as you all probably know, is one of the flattest counties in Ireland. I think it might actually be the flattest county. Then this was crossing into Dublin, which is another separate video. That hill there, I think, I'm not sure, was it that one, or I think there's a second one. Yeah, I think it was that one. That is the highest point in Kildare, Cupidstown Hill, which I'll be hiking up. It's one of the easiest ones. I'd say it's possibly the easiest. Second easiest maybe after Westmeath and Meath. So sorry, third easiest. But it's a very easy one to do. You don't need much fitness at all. It's a small hill. It's not even a mountain. It's right next to the tri-point with Wicklow, Kildare and Dublin. And this is crossing into Dublin. And here is a few short clips of it, but this is the West Dublin countryside, which is the area kind of around the border with Wicklow and Kildare, which is still quite rural and still has a good bit of farmland, mostly dairying actually, surprisingly. But there's a great pub there. I forgot the name of it, but it's an amazing spot on the road there. But it is quite interesting to see this kind of part of Dublin. No, this is, I think, no, or not yet, it might be up further, yeah, this is kind of heading into, this is around, I think, is Lucan, there was the industrial estates there, that's not too interesting, and then this is the, North Dublin countryside, so this is slightly different, this is more arable, this is around Lusk and Balbriggan and places like that on the coast. So as you know, since I did a separate video on this about 2 years ago, you've got the there's actually windmills here, which is nice, like the Dutch windmills. and there's mostly potatoes, and carrots, a lot of root vegetables mostly, and obviously silage and straw. Not many animals though. It'd be very hard to find animals around here. Then I think this is Meath now, crossing in up around, I think is this Knoll. Yeah, Knoll is the village up here. So this isn't Meath. I didn't take much footage in this part of Meath because there wasn't really much here. This is crossing into Louth now already. There wasn't much to see there. There was the Drogheda, Drogheda concrete power plant, but that's actually just very ugly. But it was just trees really. No, it was actually along the small bit of coastline that Meath has, which is quite interesting. A lot of people don't know that, but Meath does have a very short coastline. It's not as short as Leitrim's. It's the second smallest. I think it's only about 10 kilometres or 15. Not sure. Anyway, into Louth now. This was my first time in Louth. I've never been to Louth, actually. So past Drogheda, and then you're kind of into the little known Louth countryside, which a lot of people don't think of because most people think of Dundalk and Drogheda. But since Louth is the smallest county, you're not in it for long. But yeah, it was my first time there. We checked off a good few counties I've never been to actually here. Now this is the I think these are the Cooley Mountains. So you're close enough to Down and Armagh, and then this is the Ring of Gullion, which is actually in Armagh, the mountains, but we're in Louth still while I'm recording it. But the Ring of Gullion is the area with Slieve Gullion, which I think is the highest peak there. So that's the highest point in Armagh. And the highest point in Louth is back there again. I forgot the name of that one. I think it might be just called Cooley Mountain. I'm not sure. I'll Google that later. But yeah, this is the big one. This is crossing from the Republic into the north. So changing a lot of things are changing from euros to pounds, kilometres to miles, changing actually from the EU to NAT, and a lot of other things. The only 2 official languages in one, 3 official languages in the other, because you have English, Irish and Ulster Scots, I think, in Northern Ireland. But as well, you can also tell a cool difference is with road signs as well. So the road signs obviously in the Republic are a lighter shade of green and they have a different font in white. The Northern Ireland and just UK road signs are darker green and have a different type of font. And also, you can also tell the difference between... and also, the Northern Ireland ones don't have any Gaeilge on them, but Republic do. And also, if you look at the road signs in the Republic, they'll just say Derry. But then it's funny because if you look at the road signs in the north, it'll say Londonderry. I think that was a sign back there. It said, welcome to Northern Ireland, speed in miles per hour. Or it might actually be coming up here. I'm not sure, was that it? This is Jonesborough, I think is the name of the village here. Which is down the road from here. Sorry, there it is. So no Northern Ireland, this is Armagh. First time in Armagh as well. And first time in Ulster for me as well. So you're not in Armagh for long. You're only in Armagh for I think like 20 minutes, not even. So I try to get in as much Armagh footage as possible. After Limerick, you're in Armagh for the shortest amount of time on this trip. But this is, I think, near Newry anyway. I'm not too familiar with too many places in Armagh. I know you have Armagh City and you have Kilcrossmaglen and Portadown, Craigavon. I know them, and then Keady as well, sorry. So it's a very nice county, Armagh. Then this here, now you're crossing into Down. So this is Armagh to Down. I'm not sure what village that was there, but there was a cool viaduct there. So this is past Newry. Newry's on the other side. Then I think there's some pattern of trees, kind of, you can tell then. It's up here, one of these fields. I think it's about now. So this is Down now. First time in Down as well. It's they're all very nice counties. They're all slightly. So I have noticed is no, it was this kind of, you can tell the landscape changes here. It's actually surprisingly more green. It feels more green here than in the Republic because there's not as many trees and there's not as many bogs, and the land is better, things like that. Not as many trees, not as many bogs. I suppose as well, kind of the grass seems to be kind of a darker green here. But then this is down into the hills there. This is near Banbridge, I think, which obviously you can, if you remember that from the song The Star of the County Down, they mentioned that a good few times. Banbridge, Downpatrick is also that way as well. I know a few places in Down. There's Banbridge, Downpatrick, Lisburn, Belfast obviously as well. A few little spots there, and then there's the Ards Peninsula, I know that as well, which is the coastal area. And then, this is coming up to, I think, Royal Hillsborough, which is the UK royal residence in Northern Ireland. So that's a very, very, very fancy posh village. The houses there are really, really fancy. Nothing else really special here. There was there was I think some caravan thing up here, and then there was a Massey here as well. Yeah, that was a quick little video of it. There was a Massey on the road. Not many actual. There wasn't much machinery on the motorway actually. Also, I have noticed as well is that the houses were kind of a slightly different kind of. They look a bit different here than they do in the Republic. They are kind of more English style. And then here's the little caravan park that I was talking about. There was a lot of people with caravans on the road actually, but I have noticed that it does. I suppose the landscape, most of the machine, like the landscape, the farms as well, do feel a bit. They look a bit more English. So this was the Royal Hillsborough spot here, but it does look a bit more kind of, I suppose, due to the plantation of Ulster and all that, it does feel a bit more English, with the buildings and the landscape and everything. And then this was Banbridge, I think, or it might have been Lisburn. I'm not sure. I think this actually might have been Lisburn here, but this is the I suppose big shopping centre, industrial estate. So my first time ever seeing Sainsbury's, because that's a UK supermarket you can't get here in the Republic. And there was a few others, Greggs, Morrison's, never seen them before. And then this was actually unique. This is up here, this is a fast food place I've never heard of before. Well, I have heard of, sorry, I've just never seen them anywhere in Ireland. Slim Chickens, they are American, I think, but they must be in the UK as well. And there was also, I think, was it a Chick-fil-A and things like that, which are all American restaurants, but you wouldn't find them in the south, but they're obviously in the UK. And this is Banbridge now, the actual town. So, or Lisburn, I can't remember. Yeah, sorry, this is Lisburn. It's a city, but it's right next to Belfast. But it's not a very touristy. Belfast gets all the attention, but Lisburn's still a nice spot. It's another one split by Antrim and Down. And then this is kind of the beginning, I suppose. This is actually getting into Belfast now. You can start seeing the kind of estates. And the hill up there, which is you see a good bit when you're in Belfast, there's the castle up there and stuff. I've kind of forgotten some of the stuff since it's been about 2 weeks since we went up there. So this is into Belfast now. This is across. I think we might have slightly gone. This is on the Antrim side. So we went into Antrim just for like 20 seconds when we were up here as well. And there's the Harland and Wolff cranes. So all the stuff on the southern side there is in Down. So the Harland and Wolff cranes are in Down. And these are just some of the pictures I took when we were actually going into Belfast. And then we arrived and that was it. But the high-rise buildings, they were unique. I've never seen them actually in Ireland. And then these were the churches. And that was a mural. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye.